Good morning, Friday, January 17th. Kyle and I are back in the studio together. Kyle's beard is like an inch longer than usual. I'm wearing a flannel shirt. I don't know. I think we're just feeling our inner winter vibes today. We're going full lumberjack mode on a Friday.
Inner winter vibes. Inner winter. I like it. You definitely are full lumberjack mode. Whenever you show up in that, I'm like, this man might have shoveled snow this morning.
I didn't know.
I don't know.
I wish I was splitting wood this morning. That's what I wish I was doing.
That would have been. That's a legit way to wake up.
No, we're in the time of year in Syracuse where we hit that like 2-week period. Yep. You know, and it could prolong, but where I live in a big like light diffusion box. It's just like it's just like a
little bit hazy gray.
No, not a little bit hazy gray. It's just a lot bit. it's a lot bit hazy gray. Like the other day, I was like, oh, when you notice when the sun's out, it's a bad sign.
Yeah.
Like,
guess what? We got sun.
It's the strangest thing. It's the strangest thing.
I can't imagine.
I know, but again, I wonder is there going to be sun in New Orleans because we're heading out in full force to the NADA show next week. We're going to be there pretty much from Wednesday through the end of Sunday. Listen, we're going to be covering the show like we've never covered it before. We always cover it heavy, but we're covering it super heavy, bringing extra production crew. We're going to be in more places. We're going to be in the NADA live stage. We're going to be bringing you 3 live streams a day. We're going to be bringing you a ton of social posts if you want to keep up with the show, whether you're there or you can't go this year and you want to understand what's going on. Follow us on LinkedIn. That's where the majority of the content is going to be. And also this show every morning, then also one in the middle of the day, also one at the end of the day. And we're going to try to bring you the things that, you know, you need to see and you need to know.
We're going to be all around. And if you're not there, we got you covered.
Yeah, we do.
Because, you know, there's like only, there's 23,000 people going and there's
a million that can't.
Million that can't go. So bring you all the fun. Yeah.
We'll be your boys. We'll be your, I don't know. Who are the people that host things these days? Ryan Seacrest.
Right. I'll take that. That man can stay in a job for years and years.
America's
like we'll be
guy.
Your Ryan Seacrest. You know what I mean?
And you can be Maria Menounos and I'll be Ryan Seacrest.
That's fair.
All right. Enough of that. I think Kyle's camera's frozen. It's all right. We'll talk about the show. What else are we talking about? Oh, NADAparties.com. Make sure you go to this site. It's building up. There's so many parties on this site right now. If you don't have anything to do at the NADA show, NADAparties.com. If you still can't find something to do, just find our crew rolling around because that means you don't know how to use a website. So if you go to the site archive, it has a whole list of all the things going on in the evenings and some breakfast events. You can go to the site, pick what you want, register for most of these parties or click through right from the site. And if you have a party or an event that you want to put on there that is not on there, it's free. You can just submit your party there. We'll get it up there so everyone knows what you're doing. We're doing a thing. We're waitlisted. Our party is waitlisted. It's been
full on waitlisted. But I haven't even checked it in a few days, but I'm sure it's over.
It was waitlisted like 3 weeks ago. So
yeah.
Listen, we're having our event. It's on the site. It's one of the first parties you'll see. Thanks to our friends at Clairvoy for actually making the site possible, and also our other friends at AutoGenius and iPacket and Upstart and Clairvoy for making the party possible.
The party.
And get on the wait list because we're going to be opening up more tickets. The closer we get, we have a limited amount of space. It's like a fire marshal issue at this point, not like a we don't want you to get in issue. But even if you're friends and even if you're planning on texting Kyle or I to see if you can get in, you still need to be on the wait list that when seats open up, right, we know where you are and we have the method to contact you and reach out as well. So there you go. And it's not like the wait list is like just get on the wait list.
Just get on the wait list.
It's not like 1,000 people longer.
No, get on the wait list, and you might even like half an hour into the party, kind of show up and see if the bouncer will let you in.
There you go.
You never know.
There's that too. There's that too. We do have limited edition swag, so if you're not on the wait list and you just show up later, you're probably not going to get this insane, cool custom pin. It's awesome.
Look at that custom
and it's got
pin.
this sound here. I'm going to close the box. There you go.
A little ASMR for your morning there.
All right, let's talk about some news. General Motors reached a settlement with the FTC over allegations that it sold customer driving data without their consent. That's your data, folks. The FTC alleged that GM's OnStar service collected precise geolocation and driving behavior data, which was then sold to third parties, including consumer reporting agencies and insurance companies so they can know where you are, how fast you're driving, and adjust your rates accordingly. Basically, they failed to clearly disclose to consumers that they were doing that. The FTC claims their enrollment process for OnStar Smart Driver feature was confusing and misleading. That's their quote. GM has discontinued that program, ended its third-party telematics relationship with LexisNexis and Verisk. Under the settlement, GM is, get this, here's it's more than slap on the wrist. They are banned.
This is a big deal.
Banned from disclosing this type of consumer data at all to consumer reporting agencies for 5 years. They also have to take steps to provide greater transparency. GM said, respecting our customers' privacy and earning their trust is deeply important to us. At one point, this wasn't in the notes, they were sending a data point on consumers every 3 minutes.
Unbelievable where they were at, what they were doing. See, this is like the big thing here is this is a massive part of an automaker's or any data collector's operations. Like, we know that at this point. But to not fully disclose it. And then my question is like, what's the level of not fully disclosed that's in this? Because we know we sign these privacy notices all the time
without reading them.
And my question is what does this do downstream, right? Now that the big behemoth has kind of like gotten attacked for this, gotten shut down, how many others downstream, both in auto and outside of auto, start to get hit with some of these things? And I think it's just like the first rung. And I'm sure GM is like, what do we do at this point? But I'm sure that others are going to be hit with this. I wouldn't like get really mad at GM at this point. So, yeah.
Oh, Ben Hadley comments, can a dealer do it instead? No. The answer is no. Todd Smith also coming in the live stream. Guess what he says? Guess what arrived in the mail today, boys? Fly Eagles Fly. He got his.
The green shirt.
They're starting to show up today. They're going to start showing up on people's doors. Yeah, limited. Actually, there's like 3 or 4 left. If you're an Eagles fan and a fan of the auto industry, you can go to shop.asodu.com and search Kelly Green, and whatever sizes are in stock.
Tree left.
Yeah, there's a few left, and you can get one, and I'll hook you
or
up.
buy it for the Dallas fan in your life.
Oh yeah,
do that. Actually,
yes.
You should just send it to 4 Dallas fans just to be cheeky.
I'm going to send it to Brad Pascal needs one. And then he'll send me a picture back of him burning it or like shooting holes in it. Oh, man. Next story, electric vehicle registrations showing a significant jump in November as consumers are rushing to take advantage of automaker discounts and secure the $7,500 federal tax credit, which may be repealed under the new Trump administration.
Right.
EV registration surged 21% year over year in November. They almost made it to 110,000 regs. Battery electric vehicles captured 8.3% of the U.S. market in total, up from 7.4% a year earlier. And automakers rightfully fearing a drop in demand if his incentives are repealed. And so they started offering deeper discounts on top of the incentives to say, how can we get rid of some of this inventory? Tesla led the market with 46,225 registrations, while GM brands saw the most growth, particularly Chevrolet. Here's a quote from Carl Brower, analyst at IC Cars. He said, quote, people who are thinking about buying an EV in the next 6 months to a year are coming out and doing it now.
Yeah, I think we all saw this coming in early November. It was just a question of will the data follow. It's clear that it has. The number has always been only 7% of the market is battery electric vehicle. To now see that at 8%, and to see the demand rising, I think this is an indicator that there is demand out there, but there's a question on whether the value exceeds the price at this point. And so this is kind of one of those things like, I'll never see the value exceeding the price potentially if I don't have these incentives. So let me go ahead and get in now, because I can at least see a little bit more value. But I also argue like, hey, more people in these cars understanding what they're doing, enjoying them. That's the
adoption curve's going to keep going. Yeah. Absolutely. Once we hit 10%, it's going to
I think that's a trigger point. I think
absolutely. When you say like, hey, 1 out of 10 across the country, we're not talking California. We're talking about everywhere on average.
Yep.
So I don't have a segue into the next.
I don't have a segue. I was like fighting really hard.
I was like,
yesterday, Michael gave me so many kudos for like every segue. He was like, "How do you even do that?" And then today, I'm like,
you used all your segue mojo.
Used all my
It was so
segue
much fun
juice.
having MC on the show twice this week.
I know it was
3
great.
times.
Wow,
3 times?
Yeah. No, twice.
It's a week. It's been a long week.
Well, the National Retail Foundation 2025 Big Show, it's called. That's a really creative name, I guess, for retailers. It was in New York. It's the Big Show. Brought together tens of thousands of retail professionals to discuss the landscape of shopping, technology, and consumer behavior. I think some auto people should go next time. I think that would be really smart.
A busy January. CES.
We do have a busy, CES, Big Show, NADA. It might be a little bit crazy.
It would be
next
interesting to be at this one, though.
Well, sure. I think so. So here's a few quotes that happened out there. Best Buy CEO Corey Berry emphasized adaptability over perfection, saying that people must be balancing in-store strategy and digital experiences to remain competitive. We know a few things about that. Amazon's Doug Harrington echoed Jeff Bezos' statements on learning to fail, saying, and I love this one, if you get too good at avoiding failure, innovation becomes nearly impossible.
Whoa.
Well, that one was like the bomb drop to me.
Don't get too perfect, right? Don't hedge yourself too much. If you do, you're just living in your own. Here's
one that's an interesting kind of takeaway. A lot of people were speaking out in favor of dynamic pricing, which has been kind of a contentious thing in regulatory talks.
For sure.
Brazilian fashion CEO Paulo Carrera championed varying prices store by store, while Nielsen IQ's Parm Singh argued AI-driven pricing can actually lower costs in low-income areas. So some arguments toward that.
I'm still like harping on the sentiments on innovation. Like that one put a full break stop in my brain really quick.
Yeah, because if all you're doing is trying to like protect what you have,
you're building a hedge. Nothing new can get in. If I think that culture too, when you build a culture around never failing, people become afraid to tell you the truth and afraid to try anything. I think what happens to the culture is like more impactful than just the first principle of it. Wow, I don't know. My mind's on that, but like the retail in general is changing, and people saying adaptability, being willing to fail and innovate, like it doesn't sound any different than the auto industry. It's like, could it be that the retail industry in general and automotive are starting to understand they're the same thing?
Oh,
could it be?
I think we should be out there next year, Paul. I think we got a busy January.
We got CES, because NADA shows until February, mid-February, or is it March? I don't remember. It's like February.
It's February next year.
And then I think the year after it might actually be in March.
Yep.
We're gonna hit all the
shows. We're
going
to the big show.
But for now, we're packing our bags, going to New Orleans next week. If you're not going, make sure you go. Follow us on LinkedIn. We'll bring you all the good stuff. And don't forget to go to nadaparties.com. Dude, we could do a whole podcast episode on that.